would give him black coffee and say,
What?
have a good night.
So you found a way to just cope?
Yeah, I just find a way to cope with it.
And later charged with treason. He was detained for 6 years. His mother, Mary Ajuma, died in 1984, but the prison authority did not inform him until 2 months later, which was very traumatizing, about the detention torture. He was released on 6th February 1988, but 6 months later, he was again detained in September 1988 by President Moi for his involvement with human rights and pro-democracy activism that was pressing for multi-party democracy in Kenya. He was released on 12th June 1989 and jailed one more time on 5th July 1990, along with Kenneth Matiba and former Nairobi Mayor Charles Rubia. On being released on 21st June 1991, he fled the country to Norway, fearing for his life after several threats by the Moi regime in October 1991. All this time, the state in many ways abused his wife's basic rights, including losing her teaching job and being harassed to vacate the staff houses at the Kenya High School where she was teaching. At the time of going to exile in Norway, the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, FORD, was formed to agitate for the return of multi-party democracy in Kenya.
Ili tuone hawa walio katika siasa, wale walio watumishi wa serikali, sisi tuseme kwamba tufungue, tuondoe ile section ya katiba ya Kenya ya 2A.
February 1992, Raila returned to join FORD, then led by his father Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. He was elected vice chairman of the General Purposes Committee of the party.
This is the first time you are truly happy to remember that this struggle for independence and work.
Run up to the 1992 general elections, FORD split into FORD Kenya, led by Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and FORD Asili, led by Kenneth Matiba. Raila became FORD Kenya's Deputy Director of Elections. He won the Lang'ata constituency parliamentary seat previously held by Philip Liki of Kanu. When Jaramogi passed on, in January 1994, Richard Wamalwa Kijana took over as chairman of FORD Kenya. Raila challenged him for the party leadership, and in the elections marred by controversy at Thika Stadium, Raila resigned and joined the National Development Party, NDP. In 1997 general elections, Raila finished third after President Moi and Mwai Kibaki of DP. He retained his position as MP for Lang'ata and supported the Moi government, leading to a merger of NDP and KANU.
There's nothing stronger than all the armies in the world, and that is an idea whose time has come.
He served in Moi's cabinet as Minister for Energy from June 2001 to 2002 during Moi's final term. He was elected Secretary General of KANU, replacing the late J.J. Kamoro. The presidential elections on 21st December 2007, Raila had Musalia Mudavadi as his running mate. Kibaki's win by about 272,000 votes was disputed by ODM leaders, leading to a call for mass action. Violence broke out. Following 2 months of unrest almost plunging the country into a civil war that led to Kofi Annan, the former UN Secretary General, to broker a truce and the sharing of power through the cabinet, and Raila became the second Kenyan to hold the office of the Prime Minister after Kenyatta in the government of national unity.
The Parliament and all Kenyans will work with the government and the leaders to get it done. I also appeal to all Kenyans to work with President Kibaki and Prime Minister-designate Raila Odinga to heal and reconcile this nation. This is a great nation. It has a great future.
Without peace, there can be no unity. Without unity, there can be no nation, and there can be no
In the general elections of 2013, Raila joined the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy, CORD, with then Kenya's Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka's Wiper Democratic Movement and other parties. A delay in the release of the final results by IEBC, where Odinga was said to have received 43.31% of the vote and Uhuru Kenyatta 50.07%, saw the filing of a petition at the Supreme Court whose ruling upheld the election results, which Raila respected and conceded.
We will, I believe, be able to demonstrate why we reached our conclusion.
Raila Odinga remained active in politics, with ODM and other new parties in the CORD coalition, plus others, formed the National Super Alliance, NASA, for the 2017 elections against Jubilee. In the early morning of 9th March 2018, in a surprising turn of events, Odinga and Kenyatta reconciled, and grasping hands became popularly called handshake. Odinga went on to work with Uhuru in the Building Bridges initiative BBI that endeavored to identify some of the country's greatest challenges and work out solutions. These recommendations were adapted into a constitutional amendment bill which was passed by both houses of parliament in May 2021. This was challenged in the courts before it could be put to a public referendum.
I have been faithful and committed building a national, democratic and progressive Kenya in our lifetime. Having worked for many patriotic Kenyans to achieve this goal, I do hereby accept to present myself as a presidential candidate at the presidential elections on the 9th of August 2022.
Raila's pursuit for peace and unity for the nation is well captioned in his selflessness and desire to work with other leaders, as exemplified by his handshakes with Moi, Kibaki, and Uhuru Kenyatta in his journey to the house on the hill.
Na mtazamaji, umeweza kupata wasifu wa safari yake ya kisiasa kwa ufupi tu, ambao labda pengine yajumuisha mengi aliyofanya katika miaka mitatu minne iliyopita, lakini bado tutakuwa tunaangazia hayo, na pia vile vile bado tuko na Linus Kekai hapa kuweza kuzungumza tu kwa kifupi ni mtu aina gani katika safari kama mwanahabari, alimwangazia vipi na kuweza kuchambua mwelekeo wa kuanzia sasa kuendelea. Manake amekiri yeye mwenyewe kwamba kuna mengi wanasiasa kwa wanaogopa kuweza kuyazungumza, sasa tutaweza kuyazungumza.
Bila kutangaza, hata hajasema ni nani wakutane, asema tu tukutane Uhuru Park. Uhuru Park inajaa. Aliposema tukutane Jacaranda uwanjani, uwanja huo utajaa. Hata uwanja wa Afraha, hata uwanja wa Kisumu, uwanja wa Tononoka huko Mombasa, uwanja wowote, Baraza Park huko Wajir anajaza, kwa sababu ni kati ya viongozi wachache sana ambao wameweza kupata kupendwa. Unajua, kati ya vitu ambavyo wanasiasa utafuta kwenye siasa ni kupendwa. Watu wanakupenda, wakikuona watafurahi. Wanataka kukuona, wanataka kukusikiliza. Na Raila alikuwa na hiyo ability ya kuappeal hasa kwa mwananchi
bila kutumia nguvu nyingi, hasa kwa mwananchi wa kawaida. Alipoteuliwa kuwa waziri wa kawi mwaka wa 2001, nilikuwa na yeye kama reporter, nikaandamana naye hadi Kisumu, na kwa sababu ya wingi wa watu tuliruhusiwa kuweka gari letu karibu na yake. Kwa hivyo tuliona kwa karibu ile msongamano wa watu. Watu wanaposaji kuja karibu na yeye. Hajasema kitu, amesema tu ako kwenye gari lile. Na hiyo one constant ambayo imekuweka kwa maisha yake yote ni kwamba Raila alikuwa na ushawishi mkubwa na alikuwa anapendwa na watu. Na bila shaka tutaweza kuzungumza kwa kirefu, maana kana pia kuna wakati ambapo alisusia uchaguzi. Kuna wengi ambao walisikiza kauli yake. Kuna wakati alisema utasusia bidhaa kadhaa, na wengi inamaanisha kwamba kama anavyosema Lina Serikali alikuwa kuna kismati cha peke yake, alikuwa na ngeke ambayo wanasiasa wengi hawana. Kuipata sio rahisi. Nani atapata minendo yake? Ni siku za kusubiri tanga. Lakini kwanza kabisa tumpe nafasi Lulu atuambie Wakenya wanamwenzi vipi Raila Amolo Odinga ambaye ameaga dunia asubuhi ya leo.
Kuzungumza hii labda nikimnukuu, anasema deeply saddened by the passing of my dear friend and former Prime Minister of Kenya, Mr. Raila Odinga. He was a towering statesman and a cherished friend of India. I had the privilege of knowing him closely since my days as Chief Minister of Gujarat, and our association continued over the years. He had a special affection for India, our culture, values, and ancient wisdom. This was reflected in his efforts to strengthen India-Kenya ties. He particularly admired Ayurveda and traditional medicine systems of India, having witnessed their positive impact on his daughter's health. I extend my deepest condolences to his family, friends, and to the people of Kenya in this hour of grief. Ikumbuko kwamba aliweza kufariki nchini India mwendo wa saa 3:52. Mohamed Al-Khalif ambaye ni gavana wa Mandera anasema kwamba I joined the nation and fellow Kenyans in mourning the passing of the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And Mr. Odinga was a true champion of democracy and constitutional reform, whose efforts profoundly shaped governance in our country. Indeed, Kenya has lost a true patriot. I extend my deepest and most heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Odinga during this difficult time. Huyo ni Mohamed Adan Khalif. David Maraga anasema kwamba I am shocked to learn of the demise of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, a patriot, a Pan-Africanist, a Democrat, and a leader who made significant contributions to democracy in Kenya and in Africa. Kenya has lost one of its most formidable leaders who shaped the trajectory of our beloved country. Africa has lost a leading voice in pushing for peace, security, and development. The world has lost a great leader, and during these difficult times, I pass my condolences to Mama Aida Odinga and the entire Odinga family, to the people of Kibra constituency, who he represented for many years, to the people of Siaya County, where he hails from, and to all of us Kenyans. May the Lord comfort us all as we deal with this enormous blow. Na kwa hivi sasa mtazamaji, tunaarifiwa kwamba hapo asubuhi tuliweza kumpata Rais William Ruto aliweza kutoa risala zake za rambirambi ama kuweza kumfariji mjane ambaye ni Mama Aida Odinga. Aliweza kukutana naye na tunaarifiwa kwamba waliweza kufanya mkutano hapo asubuhi na baadaye